Hey, hey, hey.
Camaray.
Watching Camaray.
Oh my.
On Camaray.
Hello.
Music TV.
Are you listening to me?
So enjoy yourself.
This girl is always
so
singing.
Enjoy yourself.
Hello. Camaray, come on. It's time to start the show.
Oh.
Happy New Year! Where my confetti at? I don't want to throw it because I've been cleaning all day. Woo! All right, let me bring it back down because I probably just blew all of your eardrums out. Happy New Year is 2020. 2020 is here. Vision clear like the year. That's right. I got merch. Got merch out, t-shirts that look like a vision board. Like when you go to the eye doctor and you be trying to read the numbers with one hand over the eye. We reading it all the way down, vision clear like the year. Okay. 2020 is all about making it plain, making it clear, your vision. All right. So anyway, let's get into this podcast, guys. I'm Camaray. This is #JTFIO or just trying to figure it out. If you're new here, make sure you follow, download the podcast wherever you're listening. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you have comments, some type of way. If you found me on Instagram, let me know. Hey, found you on Instagram. If you have my Twitter, hit me up at Camaray Music TV on there. You know, I don't know if that really makes sense. I mean, obviously, if you comment, I will get that notification on that platform. But I just think it's weird, podcast, because you never know where someone's listening at. And YouTube, a lot of people don't watch podcasts. They'd rather listen. So anyway, all that aside. Okay. So if you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, you know that I did like a best of 2019, like the top 10 things that happened in the year. And we missed a lot of good things. But I think that my list pretty much tackled a lot of the things that that were like hot button issues during the year. Right. So let me turn this sound off. So I just wanted to hop on here and talk about just myself personally, because podcasts are a little bit more intimate. I wanted to talk about, first of all, in 2019, you know, my growth and strengths and weaknesses, what I'm looking forward to in 2020, what the decade brought me and all the growth that I experienced in the decade, and, you know, just kind of get ourselves geared up and ready for the new year. Okay. So, I am a person that believes in like feng shui and change things around and make sure you don't go into the new year like with a dirty house, and make sure you have black eyed peas and greens, and make sure I am very much new year, new me. And my former supervisor, he makes fun of me all the time. But I mean, I do feel like it's a new year. You do need to come like a little different. Like one major thing I did was go from dip nails to gel nails, because I'm embracing the more natural, like, you know, not being so dependent on, I need a fill, like, you know, just, you know, so, but I don't really like it. It's very thin. A nail has already broken, so I'm gonna have to go there. But, you know, just little small things like that. My black eyed peas are soaking, my greens are soaking. But before we get ready for the new year, I like to reflect on my 2019. So at the very top of the year, I was fresh out of the military. I did not have a job. So I had brought in the new year on unemployment and was like, God, did I do the right thing? Did I get out of the military? Like, was that the right thing to do? Because here I am. My husband has to support the both of us, and I can't find a job, and nobody will take me because, you know, I have school coming up. School hasn't started yet. I don't know anyone. My family, I can't really say anything because they wanted me to stay in the military. So that's kind of where my mind was at January 1st, 2019. Now, I did go to my husband's job and bring it in with him there because he did have to work. So I was very, I wasn't like sad or depressed, but I just kind of was feeling like, feeling like a little leery, a little confused, a little like nervous, like, did we do the right thing, right? And so as the year started to go on, I ended up getting a job, but the job was like, I don't even know how to describe, because I met some great people. I did learn a lot about myself. I learned the city because the job had a lot to do with like logistics, but it was not a job, like I felt like overqualified for the job. It was near home. I dealt with like a lot of negativity, but I dealt with a lot of positivity as well. But it just like didn't seem like, I was just like, God, why am I here? Like I did not understand, why am I here? But I would get myself together every day. I would go on to work and, be as positive as I can, and was grateful for them because that my supervisor at the time was working with my schedule of going to school. And even if I had VA appointments, if I had anything, she would just be like, okay, cool. And so maybe that's why God wanted me to be there, to show me like, we're not talking about your qualifications right now. We're talking about where you're trying to get. So you need to work this position as humble as you can. And so, I did that because I felt like, to me, I'm not a person that's like so much about status, but I think because I had gotten out of the military and I was trying to prove to so many people that I'm not going to fail and we're going to make it. That was like our whole thing, 2019. We're not going to fail. We're going to make it. Because of that notion, it was like, okay, this job, like I'm barely making enough. I was on unemployment, like this is not like I took a huge pay cut. So I was still kind of like, God, I'm gonna do what you say, but I'm not sure about this. I hope you know what you're doing. And like the audacity, right? To tell God, hope you know what you're doing. But that's where my mind was at, because remember, we had our huge wedding in February. So in January, it's like trying to get all these wedding stuff done. We had this big move. I was feeling like, what is going on? I get this job that's like just enough, wondering like, am I going to be able to get time off for the wedding because I just got a job? So it was a lot. It was a lot. The wedding was great because even though we had moved here away from everyone and didn't know anyone, literally 2-3 months later, we had a huge event or huge wedding where everyone came. So military friends flew in and family flew in and drove in, and we had everyone we loved there for that weekend. So it kind of like recharged us. And so as the year went on, little things started to happen where I started to feel validated, like, okay, we're getting there. School wasn't it, but I would have like little experiences with my YouTube channel where I would feel like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm going to keep recording these videos. I have no clue who's watching. I don't understand like the views and how more people like this and other people don't like that. But I started to take serious like my brand. And I think that had to do with school. Now, even though I always tell you guys the program at my school, it needs a lot of work, being around like-minded people and realizing like, oh, I do have some progression. I have made some strides in my brand building and stuff. Being around that, it helped me see like, okay, you're not doing as bad as you think. But it started to also show me that your brand is real, and what you want, it's real because you said it. And I started to take serious the things that I wanted to do. So as we flowed into March, April, we got Kobe, and this was like, he really turned out to be something that we both needed because we were just working and going to school and trying to spend time with each other. But we're always so tired and sleepy, but we're just working so hard to just prove like we're going to make it. We're making it through this year. And little chips started to fall into place. VA things started to happen, and job stuff started to line up, and then, just aligning yourself with the right friends, that was important. And realizing like things are temporary. They are seasons. Get yourself prepared in that season was a huge lesson for me, because if you spend all your time, I don't get enough views and my subscriber count is creeping up so slow. And if I spent time harboring on that, then I would have missed the lessons, and I would have missed the rewarding parts of there's a saying, like, working hard within like your workshop, or working hard behind closed doors, so that when you have your moment, it's not even foreign to you, because you work so hard at this, you're so dedicated to this craft that what am I trying to say? That when you have your moment, it is revealed to anyone around you, like, I got this. Okay. I really feel like I didn't explain that the right way. What I'm trying to say is, a lot of times people think like, oh, you sing, or oh, you're a comedian, or oh, you act or whatever. You should go viral, or you need millions of views, or why aren't you doing this? And it's always like the grandest thing, right? But what people don't realize is a lot of people are successful with just their 10,000 subscribers or 10,000 viewers who are consistent, who always follow them. And you don't have to hit 1 million to be considered successful. That's one. Then number two, if you do go viral, what are you going to back it up with if you don't have the content, if you don't have the work ethic when you make it there? And so I had to realize that this year, when I was like, dang, my stuff is not getting the views that I would think it's getting, like the person next to me is getting. But people put in the work. You got to put in the work and the consistency when you're doing something, because then when you are discovered, you have some other stuff to fall back on, to be like, okay, well, I have this content, and y'all know what I'm trying to say. Okay. So spend a lot of time throughout the year understanding that. And I realized that, I could have been a teacher right when I first got out, but it's like I was running from exactly what I should have been doing. Okay. I love kids. Probably because I don't look at them as kids. I just feel like they're little people who are brave, who are bold, who like understand the world completely different, and they got our future in their hands. So I always wanted to be a part of that. I don't want children myself, because I feel like when you become a parent, like your mindset just changes. You just kind of flip, and I'm not trying to be a part of that. I love children though. And so, I have a friend, and she kept talking about how she's a teacher and how it's such a stable job. And, I was about stability, but I was like, I want to do what I want to do. And I was like, So I ended up getting the job, and I was just like, like, God, I don't know what you're trying to tell me. But things just started to fall into place after that. And that was like right at the beginning of their school year in August. And so 2019 just showed me like, there is a saying, I just cannot remember it. But basically, to work hard, to work at your craft or practice, kind of like what Beyonce was saying in Homecoming, like people think you're just supposed to hop up on stage and then just voila, like here it is. Like, no, I practice. And I feel like she said it in that documentary too. Like, things have to look a mess. Things will look a mess. Things will be hard. Things will be frustrating and irritating. But it's like those lessons that you learn, those things that you're doing when you're like in the trenches, just like trying to figure it out. When I'm sitting here editing and I figure out, oh, if I like put this little filter on here, it'll stop with my and all these things, right? If I angle it this way, if I angle it that way. But if I weren't in the trenches or in the office, like trying to figure out these things and not just like putting stuff out, then my brand would not grow. Like I would not be able to be better. Right. So let's take the Love and Hip Hop and Real Housewives of Atlanta reviews. Right. I started to notice that just putting out the review, it's not gaining as much traction. So then I thought maybe I'll change the thumbnail to be like a part of the show. Well, you can't really do that because it's kind of deceiving. It's like you're doing a review, stand up in that review. People are seeking you. And I learned that at school. People are seeking you. So why would you put a thumbnail of, and it really didn't look right on my website either. So that's when I started noticing, like, okay, well, you need to be more brand oriented. You need to be more like you're a business and you need to take this serious. Why don't you have merch? Why don't you have things that you post every day, like a Merry Christmas post or a Happy Veterans Day post? And this is very recent. But I just started realizing, like, if nobody's going to take your stuff serious, if you're not, then nobody is, right? And so, and then I also started to understand that, my weaknesses were that I did not have an example of that. Okay, so because I didn't have an example, then I had like a lot of self-doubt. And even though I come across as very confident, I am confident that I shouldn't be doing that, but I'm not confident in what I should be doing. So, so a lot of times, when it comes down to your craft or your calling or your ministry, like you get a feeling every time you do it, but you don't know like what you're supposed to be doing with it. So I just be like, God, like, okay, you want me to have this brand. Okay, I have a podcast, I have t-shirts. I'm doing what you say doing, but it just seems like a little arrogant, like a little self-absorbed. Like, why is everything about me, 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 me? But I just started to realize, like, the Lord is telling you, like, for all this time, you didn't know, you couldn't get your footing. You didn't understand what you were supposed to be doing. All right. Sorry, guys. I got a phone call. But anyway, so I don't even remember what I was saying. I think that a lot of us struggle with self-doubt. Okay. I think it's very prevalent. But I also want us to understand that nowadays it is way more common to not follow the career path of those before you, of ancestors before you. If you have a passion of creating candles or making candles, like you really can start a business doing that. And maybe nobody in your direct circle want no candles that you made. Okay. But somebody in Canada, somebody in Montana, somebody in Atlanta, LA, like all these other places might want it. So it's really about putting your best foot forward and capitalizing and taking your brand serious to be like, hey, this is what I do in the most professional way, very paced. Okay. But understanding that it don't have to be grandiose in the very beginning. And that's what I've been trying to ensure that I understand. Okay. The views are not so much as important as your content is and your consistency is. My word of the day fell off and it just plagues me every night. But when I became an English language arts teacher, I was like, I could be doing words that help my kids out every day that apply to their text that they're reading. I could play it in the beginning of class and, have everybody understand what the word means and write down a paragraph about, that's good. Write down a paragraph about the new word of the day. And so because of that, it's like I had to revamp it and a lot of things just came to a head, like school, and I was gaining weight like crazy, and work and good things at work, but it was good things all around. But it's just like all these things are happening. I got to drop something, and unfortunately it was the brand because it didn't take priority, which I still was posting some stuff, but I wasn't consistent all around as if I was a business. So all this to say, my strengths and weaknesses coincided for the year. When I look back at the decade, honey, 2010 through 2019, they were my formative years because you guys know I turned 30 this year. So literally from 20 to 30, I'm getting goosebumps and getting teary eyed just thinking about it. I was a mess in 2010. Okay. All I knew was I wanted to sing, and whatever way I had to go about that to please everyone else. If I got to be a music teacher, whatever, I'm going to do it. I just want to sing, but I could not fake the funk. I just could not fake the funk. I was in there as a music major. I just didn't care about this stuff. And I have lots of people that can attest to it. I love singing. I love reading music. I love harmonizing. But when it came down to the music history and practicing the classical and the opera, like I just was not here for it. And I just could not find the passion. And even when I changed my major to communication, it was like, my heart's not in school at this moment. So I literally like it almost is like a slap in the face to everyone who helps support you. And that's another reason why I don't want kids, because it's like you be putting your all into them little dudes, them little girls, and they be like, I'm off that, I'm on to something else. Like it really is like a selfless business, and you gotta just be okay with it because they grown. And I can't say that I would be okay with it. But anyway, so I went on to the military and learned all I did in the military. It was like a complete 180 of how I was when I went in. Hated school. Now, like, here I am in school. Was super irresponsible and, was responsible to a certain extent, but like irresponsible when it came down to like accountability and things that were going to matter in the next 10 years. Was I a great person? Yes. Was I a loving person? Was I a giving person? Was I still a leader? I had a lot of things still in me, but it was not matured. It was not until I met those girls and my one guy, Daniel, my steppers, who like turned a mirror on myself and was just like, where are you going to be when we get to high school? Are you going to come with us? And I realized, no, I can't go with y'all. So I'm going to have to do something. And even in the military, learning all the things that I learned and realizing who I was, it's just like that decade from 20 to 30, just picked me up, flipped me all around, threw me up, threw me out, threw me down, and spit me back out, and was just like, here you are, new year, new me, every time. Okay. So, it's just so funny because if 20-year-old met 30-year-old me, I'd never believe we're the same person. Okay. Because first of all, because the extra weight. Okay. But second of all, I would just kind of be like, girl, is that you? I can't, that girl, that can't be you. So I thank God for the hardships. I thank God for the struggles. I thank God for the lessons. I thank God for the no good men. Okay. I thank God for the bad credit, the boosting of the credit. I thank God for the no savings. I thank God for falling asleep at the wheel and totaling a car and realizing how spoiled I really was. And then feeling resentment for being spoiled, and then understanding that I'm spoiled because I have people that love me, and then feeling like, okay, I feel like Ari Lennox with the and then but then feeling like, you know what, to pay them back, I'm gonna get myself together. I'm gonna get myself together because I got someplace to go and I'm praying. So that was like my gift to, those people who had a hand in raising me and getting me in molding me. It was like, I'm going to learn myself and I'm going to get myself together. And now 2020 is not the end. My 30s ain't the end. I'm pretty sure I'm going to endure a whole lot more mess that I'm probably not even ready for. But I think my mindset is just kind of like ready to take things for what they are. Not allowing negative energy, only accepting positivity, keeping my peace, and really focusing on equality in my relationship and protecting my husband's peace and making sure my peace is protected. And, just being clear in 2020, vision clear, 2020 vision. Okay. Some of my goals for 2020, I don't really make New Year's resolutions because I feel like every couple weeks I'm making a resolution. Like by this time I want to have this, by that time I want to do this. So I have like a 5-year plan in my planner where I'm like trying to save $10,000 at some point and $20,000 at another point. And it just seems impossible to me because I can barely hang on to 1,000 in my savings account. I just be like, woo, girl, you hit that comma though. And then I'd be like, you could stand to spend this on something else. But no, you got to save, right? Obviously, staying fit, getting fit is one of my goals because I fell off when stuff started to come to a head. I'm going to graduate in May. My husband and I want to get a house in 2020. We just have lots of goals, lots of things that we're trying to make happen. But as far as my brand, I want to, have my merch and be fully like putting together my merch, shipping it out, and consistently posting, and actually develop a supportive audience. Okay, so to where I have like a Patreon and maybe like a cool 100 people who consistently watch me. I mean, that's really all I'm asking. I mean, who wouldn't want thousands and thousands of people? I would, but I'm just like, I want to get to a place of consistency and treating my brand like a job, like a second job, truly. But I'm excited for 2020, guys. This is it. We're leaving the 2010 through 2019. I don't remember anybody being this pumped about 2010, like saying it's the end of a decade, but so much has happened in the world, in our lives, and it's like 2020 is here. Thank God that we have made it. Look to your left, look to your right, say, we going into 2020 positive. We're going into 2020 clear. We're not allowing any fog or murk or grayness. Okay, black and white. Y'all know I'm trying to be better with gray areas, but just being clear. And if you need to get you a shirt, get you a shirt. They $20 for a limited time. I thought it would be nice to be $20 because it's 2020. All right. So it is January 1st, 2020. And I just wanted to hop on here and tell you guys Happy New Year. If you haven't heard it yet, be the first to tell you Happy New Year from hashtag JTFIO, or just trying to figure it out, because that's what we're doing. Just trying to figure it out. So let me make sure I didn't miss anything. We got what we're looking forward to. What are we leaving in 2019? Self-doubt. We're done. We off that. We're done with self-doubt, because you got this. We got this. Okay. Self-doubt is done. If it comes back, you better be able to stare it in the face. Y'all look how I'm staring it in the face. Self-doubt. If you listening on the podcast, I'm staring in the mirror. Self-doubt is done. You are no longer going to allow your feelings about what you gonna do to affect what God's plan is for you. Amen. Okay. All right, guys. Happy New Year. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.